right, good morning, BookShark Bootcamp. It is your community manager, Jana, and this is session 4 of 2024 Bootcamp. Again, we're just going to check in. How are you guys feeling? Some of you have already started your year. You have kind of gotten your feet wet. You know what's going on. You're starting to get your groove. Super excited for you. If you are already started and maybe you're around that 3 or 4 week mark, I want to encourage you to take a pause and look back at sections 1 and section 3. We talked about putting a marker on there a couple weeks ago so that when you got familiar with the curriculum and the layout and some of the terms, it would be beneficial to pause and go back and reread the quick user start and then the new user information. It's actually section 4 to really help you guys understand what you can expect out of your year with BookShark. So if you're that far along, I encourage you to take a pause and make sure you flip through that. If you are waiting to start until you've worked through the boot camp, if you're going to start after Labor Day, which is how, I don't know, some of us started when we were kids, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for watching these sessions, and thank you for investing your time into setting yourself up for success with BookShark. So session 4 is about setting up your homeschool year. I am working on the calendar. I will get that posted right after this runs, but it is a printable calendar. It's by month and it goes Monday to Sunday. And we did that so when you're marking off your days, we give you 36 weeks, 4 days a week for 36 weeks of curriculum. If you choose to do a traditional school where you start on Monday and maybe you do Monday, Tuesday, your break is Wednesday, and then you do Thursday, Friday, there are so many different ways for you to be able to do your homeschool. We had co-op on either Tuesday or Thursday, I believe. We ended up switching. So we would do BookShark on Monday, we would co-op on Tuesday, we would do half a day on Wednesday, and then we would finish our week Thursday and Friday. Some of you are going to set up your week so they're going to look like Monday through Thursday, so you always have a 3-day weekend. And some of you are just going to kind of be very unique in how you set up your year because that is what your family needs, and that is the beauty of homeschool. So print your calendar and think of it as a roadmap for your homeschool journey. Take the time to listen to some of the suggestions that I'm making in order to set yourself up for success. And I encourage you, use pencil. Now, I know there are plenty of you who are going to want to use a digital calendar, and that's great. I I like to write it in pencil and paper. I'm a little bit old school that way. My personal calendar is digital. Maybe I'll eventually move to a digital calendar for BookShark. I will tell you that using our virtual seat for my daughter has definitely helped with a digital calendar because she just logs in and sees what she has to do every day. So it's kind of removed me a little bit more, even from her planning, which has been phenomenal. So again, it's your homeschool. You get to set it up how you want to succeed with it. But if you're going to use the paper, which it's a nice way just to kind of get started and get an overview for your entire year. If you want to print out the calendar, 3-hole punch it, put it in your working binder each month as you're working through. It's just a really great way to be able to jot things down, field trips that you want to take, that you want to plan out, or field trips that you end up taking that you want to jot down and make notes about later in the section that we give you for a field trip. We have a blank or a template, I believe it's in section 3, that's going to help you fill out what you did on the field trip and keep it for a record. If you feel like you need to keep record for either the charter school that you're going through, the public entity that you are associated with, or if you are a traditional homeschooler, just for your own records. So paper is beneficial. It does have its benefits. So I've created that calendar. It's pretty blank. I'm going to help you guys fill it out for your year to at least get an idea of what to expect as you're working over these next 36 weeks. So, reminder, in September, the boot camp changes. So we are just in session 4. We still have 5 more sessions to go through. So that'll get us through August. But in September, just want you to keep in mind that we will go from weekly Q&As and weekly sessions to monthly Q&As and monthly sessions. And I'm going to get some more voices in here. So by the end of August, you're not totally done with me. So I hope you're excited and encouraged about that. And then we are going to add some real life and homeschool, and that is just me kind of talking about things that aren't necessarily BookShark, but definitely apply to parents as we homeschool our children day to day. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so back to the calendar. If you count the 4 days a week for 36 weeks, I know this is crazy math, you get 144 book days. Now, some states require 180 days. I will tell you that that's because you get 36 weeks of 5 days a week. So those 36 days that we do not give you something to do, that is when we've kind of built in for you that day for co-ops, field trips, and sports. Now, I will tell you as a pro tip, if you choose to do a co-op, a field trip, or a sport on that 5th day, try not to add in any academics. It tends to backfire. Believe me, I've been doing this long enough to know that if we just hurry up and get something done before we leave, or, oh, we'll just try to squeeze in a math lesson when we get back, your kids are not happy. When they're tired, you're tired when you get back from a field trip. They've already done a lot of learning, being out, and whatever it is your field trip is doing, or the sport that they're doing, or your co-op, there's a lot of activity. If they're not around kids every day like they would be in public school, it could be a little bit draining. So just keep that in mind. Read aloud, okay, but if you're trying to get through a full lesson on one of those days, it could actually backfire. And then your kids don't want to do those fun things because they know that means they're going to have to double up or do extra work in order to earn those fun things. So again, I'm not speaking as, you must do as I say. I'm just giving you guys some ideas that it sounds like a good idea. I always tried to do it and it really never worked out. So there you go. But if you take those 144 days that BookShark gives you and the 36 days, those 36 weeks, that 5th extra day, that gives you 180 school days. Now, each state is a little bit different, but on average, that is the requirement, 180 days. So first thing I want you to do on your calendar, if you print it out or you're doing digital, is decide what your first day of school is. For those of you who have already started, that's okay, retroact, but definitely mark it. If you've already started and you didn't take any pictures, I want you to encourage you to stop what you're doing and take a first day or first month for this academic year picture. It's so much fun to compare at the end of the year the growth of your children. And like I said before, sometimes it's hard to see when you're in it day to day. So you don't want to miss out on those opportunities to use your camera and take those pictures. Okay, so take your pictures. The next thing that you want to do when you get your first day marked down is you want to think about your vacations. Let's just take a moment and think about the vacations. Where would you want to go? Let's dream for a moment. I'm a tropical gal. I immediately want to go on a tropical vacation, but maybe it's different for you. Maybe it's a fun-filled, back-to-back activities. Maybe it's a cruise. Maybe it's a quiet camping trip. Maybe it's holidays to go see your family or family coming to see you. I want you to just stop and think about what the year is going to look like. Vacations first. First and foremost, your family is important and your time is valuable. So make sure that you put out what days you guys are going to try to plan. And it doesn't necessarily mean like the exact date, but maybe around in that month, and book out that week or two or however it's going to work for you so that you have an idea. And if you do it in pencil, it's easy to erase and switch out. So the other thing that's incredibly important to do is one flex day per month. That means that as you're looking at your school calendar, you're going to decide and build in a day. So maybe someone doesn't feel good. Maybe you don't feel good. Maybe something came up in your family. You want to make sure that you have a day that you can kind of roll over and get that work done so that you don't start feeling incredibly behind. It's important because once you start feeling behind, it gets really hard to get that feeling and get past that feeling. And I don't even want you guys to get there. So build in one flex day a month. So first day of school, you're going to start your vacations. You're going to write them in. You're going to build in one flex day a month. Then you're going to be realistic about your holidays. Whether you are a week off at Thanksgiving, 2 weeks off in the winter, you want to do a spring break, there's a special holiday that you really want to celebrate and you want to do it differently this year, you have to think about that. You got to build that in. Mark those days off. Again, if you're trying to get schoolwork done, but you're also trying to have all this fun and build in all these activities, what's going to go to the wayside? It's going to be the school, which obviously, but we don't want you to feel like you're not getting done what you set out to do. So your holidays, be realistic and make sure you book those out. You have your elective days, which are 36 days again, and your book days, which are 144. So a really simple way to keep track of your students' attendance, again, if it's necessary for you or to keep yourself on track. Week 1, day 1. So W1, D1. This will allow you to keep track of your book days. Also, if you do it in pencil, you can move it to the next day, you can move it to the next week. All of those things are flexible, but it's great to have a roadmap, an idea of where you want to go so that you can get done in the time that you want to get done in. So I would just, if you're looking then in September, if that is when you're starting, that would be week 1, day 1, whatever day that you start. And let's say by October, you're going to be at about week 8, day whatever. So W1, D1 equals week 1, day 1. And you're going to continue that all the way through week 36, day 4. And you don't have to necessarily plan out all your 36 weeks like that. Maybe just do it month by month so that you keep a realistic idea of where you're at, where you're going, and where you're going to be when you complete your 36 weeks of BookShark. I really hope that that is something that you guys will invest a little bit of time in to see if it will work out for you. Even if you never touch your calendar after you print it and put in those few things, at least you have a place that if you need to go regroup, it's there. Again, you can print it out month by month, leave all of the months in the file binder and take out month by month and put that into your working binder. It's a great way to stay organized and to really help make sure that you are staying on track if that's what you want. If you are going to be the type of homeschool family that is going to just dive right in and do your own thing, I applaud you. I think that's great. Again, I'm that type AB personality, and so I definitely need a little bit more structure, but I like an outline. And so I can deviate from it, but I know it's there when I need to go back. And hopefully that's what this calendar is for you guys. It's just basically like an outline, just like our instructor's guides. They are guides, they are not dictators. You are in charge of your homeschool journey, and we're just here to help facilitate that and make it successful. All right, your homework. Print your calendar, fill out a couple days. Post your first day of school pictures if you already have them, or at least take them and get ready to post them when we put a share your picture of first day back maybe in September when everybody is kind of thinking about getting back to school. Some people school year round, so we'll see. All right, next week, we're going to talk about homeschooling without burnout. This session is going to focus on you and how to thrive in your coming school year. That's it, you guys. I will post the calendar. I will post the Q&A. So if you have questions, we can get those answered. And I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.